This man outsmarted the entire internet. Here's how in the attention economy, truth is optional. In the noisy, crowded, endlessly scrolling world of the internet, attention is the currency. Likes, shares, retweets, they're more than vanity. They shape public opinion, drive markets, elect leaders, and create fame overnight. But behind every viral post, there's an invisible web of psychology, algorithms, and manipulation. And one man, with no fame, no following, and no agenda, decided to expose how fake the internet really is. And maybe that's the most uncomfortable truth of all. We don't just fall for lies online, we participate in them. Every like, every comment, every blind share is a vote cast for what deserves visibility. And sometimes we're not just misled, we're complicit. We help illusions grow legs. We give digital ghosts their breath. In the end, the internet reflects not just the cleverness of those who manipulate it, but the vulnerabilities of those who consume it. As artificial intelligence evolves and synthetic media becomes indistinguishable from reality, the boundary between the authentic and the artificial will blur even more. We're entering an era where video footage can be fabricated, voices cloned, entire personas generated at scale. What Alex did in 2018 as an experiment is now a feature set in consumer apps. And if that's the case, what happens to trust? When everything can be faked, the most radical act might be simply being real. Consistently, transparently, and imperfectly. But maybe, just maybe, there's a silver lining. Alex didn't just exploit the internet, he revealed its fault lines. And in doing so, he gave us a map. A way to understand what we're up against. Not to fear technology, but to learn how to coexist with it more wisely. Because if we want the digital world to be worth living in, worth trusting, it won't be built by code alone. It'll be shaped by the values we choose to carry with us, screen to screen, scroll to scroll. So what do? Turn off the feed? Live offline? Probably not. But what we can do is shift how we see what we see. Not with paranoia, but with curiosity. Not with cynicism, but with critical thinking. The lesson from Alex's story isn't to distrust everything. It's to remember that in a world where algorithms shape truth, awareness is your only firewall. Because in the age of infinite content, discernment isn't just power, it's survival. He wasn't a celebrity. He wasn't a hacker. He was a curious coder living quietly in a small apartment in Ohio. Let's call him Alex. Scroll through any feed today and you'll see it. Rage-inducing headlines, feel-good fakery, AI-generated influencers, and stories that seem too crazy to be real. That's because they often aren't. But what if someone decided to prove that? Not through a thread or a TED Talk, but by using the very mechanics of the system against itself? One man did exactly that, and he outsmarted the entire internet. Not with money, power, or fame, but with curiosity, code, and a fake girl named Jenna. The origin, a glitch in the algorithmic matrix. Back in 2018, Alex, name changed for anonymity, wasn't trying to be famous. He was a mid-level software engineer, introverted, thoughtful, and obsessed with the growing power of algorithms. He saw influencers rise from nothing, misinformation go viral, and AI slowly creep into our conversations. He had a theory. Online influence is not about truth or even popularity. It's about perceived popularity. So he decided to build an experiment, not a simulation, not a white paper. A real functioning internet persona, from scratch. He wanted to answer a single question. Can a completely fake person become a real influencer? The birth of Jenna wasn't real. She didn't have a backstory, a job, or even a real face. Alex used a neural network, likely something like StyleGAN, popular at the time, to generate a photo that looked just imperfect enough to be human. Then came the profile. Gen Daily Tech, politics, no filter, opinions are my own. She tweeted like everyone else. Bold one-liners, hot takes, inspirational nonsense, carefully engineered to spark debate. Alex studied tweet engagement formulas, mimicking sentence patterns and pacing used by actual viral influencers. Her first posts? Dead silent. But that's where the second layer came in. Bots. Alex didn't buy followers. That was too obvious. Instead, he created a distributed swarm of real-looking sock puppet accounts, each one with different names, bios, profile pictures, and tweeting habits. They retweeted Jenna, replied to her, quoted her, liked her posts, subtly but consistently, enough to trick the Twitter algorithm into believing she was active, and more importantly, engaging. The rise, when fiction becomes reality, within a week, Jenna began appearing in small recommended threads. Her replies started getting seen by real users. A few influencers retweeted her. Some agreed. Others argued. But all were real, and all added to the illusion of authenticity. By the end of week 2, the magic started. A political podcaster invited her for an interview. A Medium article referenced her tweet. She trended briefly in a localized feed. None of it was bought. None of it was paid. All of it was earned through the manipulation of behavior loops. Jenna didn't just go viral, she infiltrated digital society. People formed parasocial relationships with her. Some DM'd her. Some defended her in debates. Some even flirted. All for a person who did not exist. The twist, the confession that made her immortal. After 1 month, Alex decided to reveal everything. He wrote a detailed blog post titled, "I created a fake influencer, you made her famous." In it, he explained every layer, how her face was AI-generated, how he used temporal bot activity to fake engagement rhythms, how he scraped viral tweets and rewrote them using synonym swapping, how he used strategic reply chains to increase discoverability. He even published her entire engagement map, showing how real users eventually propagated her posts without any further bot help. The story went viral. Again, this time he became the subject. Reddit called it the greatest digital magic trick of the decade. Tech Twitter was split. Some called him a genius, others called him dangerous. Media outlets from Vice to Wired ran stories on it. The blog post hit 1 million views in 48 hours. But here's the most mind-bending part. Even after the confession, Jenna's account kept growing. People still replied, still debated her, still believed. Some thought the confession was part of the performance. Others argued she had become real through attention alone, and maybe she had. The psychology, why it worked. Alex's experiment exposed a hard truth. The internet doesn't reward truth. It rewards signals. A profile photo, a blue check, a few thousand likes. These are modern credibility markers, even more than facts, expertise, or reality. Social proof hijacks our brain. We're wired to trust popularity. If a post has 20K likes, we assume it's worth our time. If an account has followers, we believe it has value. What Alex manipulated wasn't just an algorithm. He exploited the cognitive biases we all carry. The bandwagon effect. We follow others when we're unsure of the authority bias. We trust figures that seem credible. The availability heuristic. We assume common equal sign true. He engineered all of it, then sat back and watched as people filled in the blanks with their own beliefs. The aftermath. The ghost in the machine. After his confession, Alex faded from the internet. He deleted his blog. His GitHub was scrubbed. His Reddit account stopped posting. But Jenna? She's still there. Her posts are now handled by real people. Maybe fans, maybe copycats. The account lives on, retweeting, reposting, reacting. Sometimes she goes quiet for weeks. Then she comes back with a tweet that racks up thousands of likes. She's become a legend. A myth. A meme. An internet ghost. Born of code, sustained by belief. The warning. What this means for us, Alex didn't create Jenna for fame. He didn't sell access to her. He didn't turn it into a startup. He built her to expose us, the system and ourselves, to show how fragile digital reality is, how perception is reality online, and how easily we can be fooled. If one man can do this with a laptop and some code, imagine what coordinated state actors, marketing agencies, or malicious influencers are doing. Right now, the next Jenna might not be fake. Or worse, she might be half fake and we'd never know. In the end, Alex's experiment wasn't just a trick on the system. It was a mirror to our collective digital psyche. We are, all of us, building the internet in real time with our clicks, our biases, our desires for connection or outrage or validation. The platforms amplify it, the algorithms accelerate it, but we feed it. Jenna Kramer was never real, but our belief in her was. And that belief alone was enough to give her power. So maybe the real takeaway isn't about one man outsmarting the internet. Maybe it's about realizing how easily we surrender our attention, how quickly we trade certainty for convenience, depth for dopamine. The question we should be asking now isn't who else is faking it. It's this. In a world that rewards illusion, how do we stay grounded in truth? And why does that still matter? The final thought. This isn't just a story about one fake person. It's about the world we've built. A world where fiction becomes fact through repetition, where identity is flexible, where emotion overrides truth. So the next time you hit retweet, ask yourself, do I believe this? Or do I just want to? Because somewhere, right now, another Alex is watching. And they're already building the next illusion.